on pink cap and green agbada.
What is it you about fashion?
Fashion.
What do you know about fashion? Fashion.
Oh! Why learning the show? Baby, go on. Sit down. What do you have for us?
Your Excellency, sir, this is a report from our experts in the field. It is unedited. The epidemic still ravages our entire country. Over 2,000 deaths in each region. The thing is, Your Excellency, we don't know the origin of this disease. Your Excellency, sir, if something is not done and done soon, the chances are the population will be decimated. Yes, sir.
So, what do you have in mind, the Honorable Minister of Health?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, it is germane that we seek for international aid with intravenous fluids, drugs, and personnel ASAP.
But this will affect our international standing.
Honorable, standing has nothing to do with it. If we are not careful, we shall be lying down and not standing at all.
But if we declare a state of emergency, we shall be exposing ourselves to all sorts of repercussions.
Such as?
First of all, Your Excellency, there will be a fall in the value of our currency. I don't think we can handle another fall, especially with the recent problems of the Naira and the oil slump. In addition, the banks will start calling in our loans and at rates that they will fix themselves, which is only fair, since they will be the ones to determine the value of our currency. We shall be in real trouble.
Madam, we are already in real trouble.
How?
Here we are with thousands dead and thousands yet to die, and you are worried about balance of payments and the value of your currency. Of what use will your money be to you when you are vomiting your guts out?
Oh, don't be melodramatic.
Of what use is the money to the thousands lying dead in their graves? People who are dead because you could not import infusions, hospital beds, and drugs.
Excuse me, Honorable Minister of Health, may I ask what infusions are?
Yes.
Oh yes, you may. But you see, it's just a policy that I would like to expand on. You are the Honorable Minister of Finance.
What is it?
You slash joyfully with your green pen as my ministry's requirements.
That is my office.
You, Mr. Honorable Minister of Finance, reduced my ministry's recommendation to 25% of our minimum requirements.
And so,
Let me just inform you, Mr. Honorable Minister of Finance, that infusions are bags of sterile fluids given intravenously to very ill patients.
Okay!
yes,
Drip!
I remember. And I also remember that a certain chief wanted to start a laboratory so as to produce infusions locally.
Yes.
And that was why we cut imports.
Yes.
So as to create a market for our locally produced goods. Any objection?
No.
Yes. Come on. I know that you Apologies, Your Excellency. Apologies.
Sorry, sir. But Your Excellency, I have several thousand objections. Some of those objections may be found lying dead on our streets. Men, women, children, and babies whose only crime was to refuse to require an infusion that you refuse to import. So as to produce a market for a locally produced item.
Am I the Minister of Import?
An item that is not even being produced yet. That is my objection. The chief has swindled you and only used you to transport millions in foreign exchange abroad. There will be no infusion factory. You know it, and I know it.
Hey, look here, Everybody has a job to do. I mean, we're all trying to do our jobs. But there has to be check and balance. Otherwise, each ministry will spend the entire national budget and have nothing to show for it. It is the Minister of Finance task to check and introduce policies. He did not know that there will be an epidemic. Neither did he know that, friends.
Chief!
Chief.
Sorry, sir. Neither did he know that chief.
We did not know.
Be that as it may, Mr. Vice President,
Uh-huh.
all of you here have shared responsibility in the problem we face.
Yes.
What are you saying?
Yes, sir. Did I not address a letter to this executive council in January last year? And did I not appeal with the interest of every well-meaning citizen at heart for a quadrupling for the allocation of health in the next budget? But in spite of my appeal, what happened? We all know that only 3% was again allocated to health this year. 3% to manage already poor health institutions. 3% to run health projects. But those are only figures. Those are only figures. The total budget increase so that your 3% was 10 billion more than last year. Now that was real increase.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Contrary to popular opinion, I am not stupid. I can run your ministry for you should the need arise. Your Excellency, sir. We all know that even with the so-called 3%, the real increase, my ministry cannot do as much as it did last year. Are you planning a coup?
You will run his ministry.
Are we? When we make decisions here in this room, we make them primarily in the interest of this government.
Yes.
And secondly, for the people of this great nation of ours. Our party interest must, of course, guide the interest of this government. Because it is our party that put us here. And it is our duty to uphold the party.
The DPP!
For the squeamish among you, remember that it is the electorate, that great representative of democracy, that voted you here because of what it hopes you will do for it.
Yes.
But that is a selfish motive, is it not?
Yes.
But what is our job? Our job is to survive in government. A government divided against itself cannot stand.
No.
Correct. The publication of the facts at your disposal, as you have related them to us this morning, would seriously harm the government. Wow. I agree with the Minister of Health that would be saving a few thousand lives by getting what he is proposing.
Exactly, sir.
But the relative gain in that direction would be far outstripped by the relative loss in public image, credibility, earning, bargaining power, and of course, political advancement for the government. Well, let me now remind you of the cholera epidemic. Did we admit it?
No!
Was it taken care of?
Yes!
The international medical community knew better. But it is what is written in black and white that matters. Since we did not announce it, they had no right to assume that such an epidemic existed.
For the sake of national interest.
Very correct. Very correct.
What are we? You will now appear in the 21 television stations. Let me give you another example. Because you don't want to agree with me. The entire medical team from the University of Toro, remember that they all died from the car crash. But you and I know that they did not die from the car accident. They died from the epidemic.
Your Excellency, that's correct, sir.
Yes.
But it is not in the national interest to announce that. It is we did not announce it. And we are not going to announce it.
Never.
In fact, we are going to deny the existence of such an epidemic. And we are going to find witnesses to the car accident. That way, we will allay all the fears generated locally and internationally. So, you will appear on the 21 television stations, the 35 radio stations, and in each of the 85 newspapers of this great nation.
Yes, sir.
You will now read this statement.
Okay, sir. This is to inform the good people of this nation and also the nation's detractors that there is absolutely no truth in the wild rumors about an epidemic spreading across the country. The unfortunate death of the medical team from the University of Togo was due to a road accident.
This is a fallacy.
Finish the letter! Finish the letter!
I don't finish this letter, though.
The ministry offers its sincere condolences to the families of the deceased and appeals to everyone to drive with care. Furthermore, the government is immediately transferring Dr. Ahmed, Professor Adi, and Professor Nwafo from their posts to the Archives Department of the Ministry of Health. These are my best men.
Is really a problem?
Do you need 3% budget to finish the letter?
My brother is reading this letter, though. Best man, groomsmen, me.
Their new appointments take immediate effect. This is your Minister of Health reporting. Your Excellency, sir.
Clap for him.
Sir, you can't really expect me to read this.
Oh my God! Oh, liar! It's because of his mother. But he will read it.
Your Excellency, I can't.
Can't he? What? Did you say can't he?
Yes, become a comedian, Your Excellency.
Wow, Alibaba. There is no can't in politics.
No.
There is only a live and let live. Or compromise. Or scratch my back. I scratch your But there is no canteen. Besides, you will.
Those doctors know that there is an epidemic.
Please.
Hey, you worry unnecessarily. Which is of the lesser evil? Transfer. Or as some of my colleagues will say, translation. If they disappear, there will be something to cry over. They should count themselves lucky. There will be one that any further utterances will result in translation.
Second time is sure.
Thank you, sir. You forget that we have access to the front pages of a number of newspapers. We will have no problem of giving them to an event. Ghana will scope us. And then we block them. I don't know why you have issues with telling a few lies. Mr. President, I prefer to call those lies political misinformation. Have you, Honorable Minister of Health, never lied in public?
But that was different.
You know, there was nothing different about it, Joe.
No.
You lied about the drug importation scandal.
One.
You lied about the cottage hospital deal.
2.
You lied about the teaching hospital budget.
3.
You even lied
Your
about...
Excellency, sir. I grant that you are telling the truth. I shall not read that statement to the press or anybody. Maybe shall resign from the government.
I had thought that it would not come to this. With you or any of the members of my council. But you are forced man. I put the apparent unity of this government above all else. And I have no scruples when it comes to the crash. Today, you will all know just how principled this man who has refused to lie in public really is. Who will remember? Assets as at the 17th of March. That is what the last week.
Yes.
Imported Mercedes-Benz from custom seizure. A medical equipment supplies company with 30 billion naira worth of contracts.
Your Excellency, that is more than his ministry's budget.
Accounts in Budapest, the United States, Britain, Chile, Togo, Spain, only 12 billion, 270 million, 650,000 naira in foreign exchange. Local accounts holding 5 billion, 470 million, 520,000 naira. Various properties around the world.
I repeat, I shall not read that statement to the press of the people. If need be, I shall resign from the government.
We shall pray for refreshment. One of staff am alive. I'm alive to God. What do we do about this boy's matter?
Your Excellency, I propose we get FFCC to arrest him. FFCC.
We need FFCC.
EFCC, sir.
EFCC. Who are they in the show? David, what is that? Let's sit down and listen to the news so that
The Minister of Health held an exclusive press conference to enlighten the country about the malicious rumor of an epidemic by an unknown killer disease. Here is the full text of the speech.
Your Excellency, sir, this is an outrage. I did not read that fabricated statement to the press or to anybody. Look, sir, I will deny it. You will see.
How can you deny something that was clearly written in black and white?
black and white again. It was in color.
My mistake, sir. Clearly written in color.
Which get them, boy?
Sorry, sir.
Well, you and I are but pawns in the greater scheme of things. The panic from an announcement of an epidemic may only bring down the government. Wow, sit down. Let me tell you a story. What to go?
I'm fine, sir.
Story! We all know that Shoshi was a great one-time leader.
Yes.
Information has it that Coventry, a big city, was to be bombed by the Germans. He got the information because the British had broken the code. He was now faced with a big problem. He could have told people and evacuated the city and saved many lives. But the Germans would have known and they will change the code, meaning more lives will be lost. You know what he did? Do you know what he did? No. He did like this. He did as if he did not know anything. That way, he had continued access to German secrets. Many lives were lost, but the war was shortened because of continued access to German secrets.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Brilliant.
You look at conversation now.
Very strategic.
We are telling good story now. You know that we are the one that started Tales of Moonlight. But what I am trying to say is that it is not wise at this time to expose the public to the truth. We will derive better benefits from lying about it. As you have so ably done in color.
The truth of the matter is that there is an epidemic. We need emergency relief materials.
Your ministry should have blankets for the bomb.
But the item is asking from our budget.
You don't know that as minister you should have all these things.
Not without funds. We need relief funds, Your Excellency. Funds. All I hear is funds. Why don't you take when you're questioning and find your ministry? Why don't you take when you're questioning?
What? Which one concern part in this matter?
Funds.
Funds, Your Excellency.
I am afraid though that is a very bad reflection on your ministry. If out of over 19 billion allocated, you could not set up a relief material store. What if there's a drought? Or a flood? Or any major disaster? The disaster don't give notice.
Do you want it to call you? Do you want disaster to call you?
If you don't do something fast, I am afraid you will consider that resignation that's there.
Yes.
So you better do something about it. Shogo?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, the next item on the agenda is my trip to Greenland. And you all coming? I always wanted to see the Eskimos.
Eskimos, Your Excellency.
Make sure you send this circular to every health department in the country, especially to me.
A memo to the facilities to be visited by the Minister of Health and Social Services fact-finding tour of inspection. The Minister's accommodation is to be freshly painted and must include an air conditioner in each room, including the kitchen and toilet. All furniture must be brand new and previously untouched by any human body part.
That's very important.
Institutions along the tour are to be freshly painted along the corridors and the routes of the minister's progress through said institutions. Beds are to be covered with sheets and wards are not to appear overcrowded under any circumstance. Patients must appear happy and smiling. Those in critical condition or declining, especially due to lack of equipment or drugs, must be located elsewhere.
Please highlight that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, on pain of dismissal, no one is to approach the minister with complaints concerning but not limited to shortages of cleaners, staff nurses, pharmacists, doctors, space, call duty allowances, finance, and most especially of drugs. Your true situations are irrelevant to a politician, especially a person as revered and busy as a minister. He has the greater country to worry about, not irrelevant problems like whether your mortuary refrigerator works or not.
You'll make sure that all the places I'm going to have not been affected by the
non-existent epidemic, sir. No, we make sure the facilities you are visiting brought back clear reports to us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That will be all. Yes? I think after this tour, the pharmaceutical expedition to you might be just the thing. Yes, just the thing.
Class. Good morning. Let's sing a song. Good morning. Hi, hello class. Yes. Question. Why did I become a doctor? Any thoughts? Yes. The gentleman in the white shirt and dark suit. Any thoughts to it? Okay. How about the lady in the blue top and the black pants? Do you have any thoughts as to why I became a doctor? Okay. Anyone else?
Holding imaginary lectures again?
Hello.
You are taking your exile too hard.
Too hard?
Of course.
Hardly. My current class of undergraduates are my most discerning so far. They are trying to remind me why I became a doctor.
And why did you become a doctor?
There's not a day in the past few months that that question has not crossed my mind, you know. I would wonder, like, it just perplexes me, you know. I can't operate, I can't prescribe, I can't even make money. Before I was relieved of my post at Mobile Rural Clinic 606, I was already in the midst of a crisis of faith.
Indeed?
Indeed, Professor. You know, there were days I regretted going on call at all. My patients were people who managed themselves for centuries, and then I came along like a pilot with no plane. At the end of the day, I would wonder, how better was I than the local witch doctors?
Well, I take it that you haven't seen this news then?
News.
A plane impounded at Heathrow Airport. All passengers under quarantine. Our Minister of Health, who was on that plane, now deceased.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see that. Incredible.
It is clear to me from the description of the symptoms and the progress of the affliction that the minister contracted the disease and expired from it.
It must have been that excuse of a talk he made. I wonder if they will accept our findings now. You know, we have been able to isolate the virus and separate those who were immune and those who were not before we were stopped.
Doctor, with the British interested, we are going to lose our head start at finding the solution.
British?
Of course. Already the people are criticizing the teaching hospital for their silence. And the press is calling for the deployment of a World Health Organization over the use of our own experts.
You see why it's frustrating, and we are just supposed to sit down here and be fiddling with our stethoscopes.
No. I, for one, have no intention of doing that. Professor Brent of the University of Toronto Medical Department have made me a proposal, and I am inclined to go with her.
And that proposal is...
You see, we are going to collate data of the people who have given all in search of the answer to this epidemic.
Ah.
We will send the whole information to the English Medical Department Journal for publication. Hopefully, they will help us complete this race.
Noble idea, Professor. But will that not fly in the face of all the government statements till date? I mean, we will be jumping into boiling water.
Oh, well, that may well be so, my good friend. But just as you asked yourself, why did you become a doctor?
Ah, yes, that question. Class, I will be right back. Just hang on, you will answer the question for me. Professor, back to that other matter.
Concerning the death of the Minister of Health and the quarantine of the plane he was aboard, the President has gone on to say that the epidemic has caused a massive loss of life, and the late response by himself and his minister was due to lack of information from the late Minister of Health. The President then warned his government officials and all ministers that he will take disciplinary actions if they were not honest. Finally, the President has gone on to announce the setting up of a 10 million naira relief fund.
In the morning, it's a brand new. Yes. Can I offer you a drink? Yeah, well, I only have beer and power has been erratic, so it's not really very cold. Yeah. Why do you behave as if I am not talking to you? I mean, would one of you do the polite thing and take this beer from me? It's not every morning that you have free beer to waste. But the last question. I have a question for you today. And my question is, we are having the coming elections, aren't we? Yes? Yes? Okay, maybe that's too broad. What is the use of putting in power those who are corrupt, if not more so, than those they succeeded? Why bother? Or, what is the essence of having 52 political parties with different alphabetical numbers and same manifestos, same motives, and probably the same godfathers? You never know, because I ask these questions because I used to think I know, but I obviously don't know so much anymore. So, yes, answers. You're all a little too naive for me this morning.
Doctor!
What?
Can you imagine the travesty that has just taken place?
Travesty. I think I have an idea what the travesty is, and I can make a very good guess.
A guess?
Yes, and my guess is a group of badly dressed men with dark glasses descended on your homes and relieved you of all your research down to the last memo.
How do you know that?
Because they were at my place first. Well, I would have offered you beer, but just one glass.
I don't need a glass.
Oh, great. Wow.
That is just perfect, isn't it?
Anyway, sorry, we have to manage this because I had to loan my generator to the clinic. Yeah, I found it.
Doctor,
yeah.
This thing goes up every day like this and we still complain as if it's a new phenomenon.
Yeah. Well, even if power failure is a normal event in this country, what must we become complacent about it? I mean, even if we don't protest, even to ourselves, the will to change will be lost.
Oh, doctor, we might never be allowed to practice in this country again.
Oh, no. Why would you say that? Do you regret publishing our research?
Do you know, Doctor, those goons that raided my house didn't take everything.
Yeah, what's that?
Hola! Professor Cummings was the fellow who ordered the quarantining of those on that plane that carried our former minister.
Yeah.
And he also headed the team that developed the vaccines that were used for those who contracted the disease.
Yeah, that should have been us.
He received a knighthood for his work, and here is a copy of the speech he made at the ceremony.
Finally.
In it, he mentioned the names of all the scientists that started work on it. He called each one of us by name, and he called everyone present to stand and applaud our achievements.
A strong innovation in a foreign land. Yeah, but it's a good thing we don't do it for the applause, isn't it?
Oh, I know the cost must have been very high, but I do not regret anything I did. Although it would have been better to have the acknowledgement of those we stood in line of fire for, but I suppose it is just what it is.
It is what it is, Professor. Meanwhile, nature is cooking up its next challenge. And when it will manifest, I wonder if the next set of professors, scientists and doctors will be as philosophical as we are tonight. You know, I wonder what challenges, what moral questions, what support will they have? Professor, I need to get more lines there because I may have to, come back to class. Class! I am not closed for the day, sorry.
What?
Yes. Class, in 100 words or less, your assignment for today. How long do you think we have to ask ourselves this question before it is all too late?